All right, folks, what a beautiful day the Lord has made. I was going to film this out in the woods today, and then the Lord brought us some pretty heavy rain this morning, so I'm actually just filming here in the garage. I want to tell you, yes, the title of this video is not clickbait. I almost shot and killed a Pickwick Electric Company utility man. And let me tell you what happened. My wife and I were sitting at home last week. It took a week to cool off so I can make this video. My wife and I are watching my favorite television show, James Arness as Matt Dillon with Gunsmoke. Yes, that's my favorite television show. And all of a sudden, the TV went dark. This is during the daytime. The TV went out, and then I can hear the refrigerator stop, and then another light. I looked and it's no longer on. I reached over and turned it, reached over, oh, yep. And then I realized now, all of the electricity's off on the house. It's not raining, there's no windstorm, there's no problem going on with the weather or the climate. And then one of the dogs immediately started this very aggressive growl and started alerting on the front of the house. So now I know there's something wrong. There's something going down that's not good. Somebody has shut our electricity off intentionally. And I had just talked to a police officer about a home invasion robbery that occurred, which is frequent in Los Angeles, where I came from 6 months ago. About a home invasion robbery, another one, where armed suspects broke into a house and took the family down at gunpoint. And I'll stop right there. And that incident was on my mind. Now you got to remember, I have a unusual background, lots of experience, training, knowledge, and education, practical, professional, and personal experience regarding robberies and home invasion robberies. I've been a victim of a robbery at gunpoint. I've responded to many, many home invasion robberies at homes, taken crime reports after the suspect's there. I've even responded to them while the suspect was still there. I remember one case in Hollenbeck Division, LAPD, where a home invasion suspect was knocking on the door. The would-be victim that they were looking for, it actually was they were trying to extract a victim from the house and take him, and as a hitman, as a hit on this guy, and he was hiding on a cordless phone, a landline cordless, inside the closet, 911, and directing the police. They're at the front door. They're ordering. You know, they're looking for me. They're asking questions, and lo and behold, I ended up doing a very stealth approach as they got about 2 blocks from this house, and I ended up having to shoot with my with a 12 gauge Ithaca shotgun, and ended up having to shoot the primary suspect. So I have a lot of experience and knowledge and training, personal, practical, and professional experience with robberies. So my mindset is going to be a lot different, and my level of fear factor, based on experience, is going to be a lot different than the average citizen. Back to the story. And that's only a nutshell of the background. Back to the story. The dog's alerting on the front door. The electricity went out, although only for a brief amount of time, but everything still went out. And now I look through the beveled glass. It's decorative glass and it's very beveled, so it's very distorted, but I can see clearly that a human being, in my mind, a suspect, is walking up along the front of the house towards the front door. I can see a portion through the glass. Now I'm armed, by the way, while I'm watching Gunsmoke. I'm now breaking leather. I'm ready. Fingers along the side. I'm at low ready. I'm watching. Now I can see clearly that the suspect has his hand in his left front pocket. Fear factor, fear levels going up even more. Now I'm getting close to an imminent threat. I believed, based on all of the background that I've been through, and based on the way the electricity just went off on the house, and based on the way the dog's acting, based on the previous conversation with that police officer of a recent home invasion robbery, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then I can clearly see, not clearly, but I can see that the suspect removes his hand out of his pocket. I can't tell if it's empty or not. I open the door so I can get a clear picture, and I see his hand is empty, but I see in his right hand he's got a clipboard. I see a very small insignia somewhere on his shirt. I can't remember if it was a patch or an ID tag, but he had some type of identification, which really doesn't mean anything, folks, because As a police officer, I worked in an undercover unit for 2.5 years. We had a closet full of costumes that we would wear. Utility men, UPS, Domino's Pizza, you name it, we dressed. Construction workers, and later as a state licensed private investigator while doing clandestine surveillances. I dressed as construction worker, an engineer with a tripod on the street, you name it, I've done it. I've dressed, so I'm aware of how they actually do dress as delivery people. Y'all have heard about it on the news. Pizza man, no, ended up being a robbery suspect, a gun under the pizza box. And so I'm still not convinced that I'm safe. And so now I'm on the porch. My wife has gone into her protocol mode, per our protocol, because she knows this is not good, or it might not end well. And I come out, I close the door behind me, I engage in a conversation with him. He says he's with Pickwick, the electric cooperative, Pickwick Electric Company that provides us with our electricity. And by the way, that's the only utility that we're relying on is electricity. We don't have any other utilities coming to our home out here in the real country. And he said they just switched the meter over. They replaced the old meter with a new meter. And so to confirm that, I walked with him outside, down our sidewalk to the driveway area. Remember, they came up our long driveway without us even knowing it, which is embarrassing. And I've done some security measures to prevent that from happening again. And I won't talk about all of the measures, but I will show a two-minute video of one of the security measures I did, one of many. And I'm thankful for this because it showed that I had a serious breach in security at our home. So I walked out to the driveway, and there's a Pickwick Electric Company truck with an insignia on it, and another employee in the driver's seat, kind of leaning out. We engaged in a conversation. I confirmed that he did change the meter. Now there's a brand new, spotless, crystal clear meter on there. I was so upset about this that I did not tell them how upset I was. I never told him that he came close, very near to death. I even laughed it off because of my nervousness, nervous laughter. My blood pressure went sky high. I had to take a pill for my heart. My blood pressure was sky high, and I had a screaming headache for 2 days. That's how terribly this incident affected me. And mainly what affected me the most was not the fear that we were going to be robbed, but was the fact that I almost killed this man. And I would have killed an electric company utility man doing his job. But the problem is, remember, never complain about a problem unless you offer a solution to the problem. The problem is this Pickwick employee did his job reprehensibly, irresponsibly, disrespectfully, immorally, unethically, and perhaps even illegally. And let me explain to you why. Oh, he never told me why. And I was so frustrated and so bewildered by this. I just couldn't wait to get back in my house with my wife. Now, I even offered these guys a soda. We have a refrigerator outside. All delivery men, UPS, postal workers, FedEx, they're allowed to open up the refrigerator and grab a drink anytime they want. I'm very welcoming to foes. I'm very welcoming to friends and people that have a legal purpose to be on our property. People that worked on our property, they can get a drink anytime they want. That's the relationship I have with the people that are welcome on our property. And I offered these guys a drink. They didn't take one, but they drove off. And it took a long time to cool off my heels and come to my senses. But I give thanks for what did not occur was a shooting. I'm so thankful. But here's what I think happened. I called one of my neighbors and asked him if they replaced his, and he said no. I think because my wife was gone for a majority of the time, we've only lived in Tennessee for 6 months. She was gone most of that time in California. And when she went back to California to finish business over there, I changed the thermometer all the way up to 80 degrees throughout all of the hot, humid summer months. I guess you can call it boasting, I boasted on Twitter and Facebook that even making a copy of my electric bill, a portion of it, that, hey, when your wife's gone, you can set the temperature all the way up to 80. And look at my electric bill. 2-digit electric bills in the summer. I haven't had that since the 1980s. And so it was nice to know our electric bill was only in the 2 digits. My neighbor said his was over $500. but he's got a lot of people living there, including 4 generations. So one person living here by himself for good, at least 4 months minimum, having a 2-digit electric bill through the hottest summer months of Tennessee, I'm sure that sent a red flag to Pickwick Electric Company, thinking this guy has altered the meter, he's changed the meter, he's reversed the meter, he's changed the polarity, he's done something, he's stealing electricity somehow. Go over there and do a clandestine switcheroo, and don't let them know you're coming. Get on there, get it off, put a new one on, and get out. And I suspect that's probably what happened. I haven't talked to Pickwick about this yet. I'm going to call them and talk to them. But I'm also going to make this video for any Pickwick employee or any gas employee in your community, any septic sewer, any trash company, anybody that provides your services, your utility services in your community, in your state, need to listen to this video. You need to be considerate of your neighbors. You guys are not authorities. We are the customers. You are the private companies that actually serve us, we the people, similar to the company, or excuse me, the government. State, local, federal government. They serve we the people. They work for us. Pickwick and all other utility companies, for all other customers, y'all work for the customers. Treat your customers with respect and dignity. Never go on their property without prior knowledge. I understand that there's legal reasons they can go on your property, and urgencies or exigent circumstances. They have a right of easement. Even on our property, we actually have telephone poles and telephone lines going alongside our woods that actually connect all of our neighbors to the electric company. So if one of those lines went down, they have a lawful purpose and a right of easement to go on our property and fix those, even if we're not at home. That is reasonable. But just to switch a meter that was not broken and not altered, you have no right to go on my property or your customer's property to do that. It is litigious, it is dangerous, it is reprehensible, it is immoral, it is unethical, and quite frankly, it's suicidal. Because it's stupid to do such a disrespectful thing to your customers. And it should not be tolerated. You know, we packed up 2 large freight trailers that would be later put on trains to come to Tennessee 6 months ago. My wife and I are in our 60s. I've got chronic heart failure. I've got I'm pacemaker reliant. I've had 3 full cardiac arrests. I had to take a heart pill that day when those electric people left this property. But I've also got a mental mindset that has a fear factor level more than the average citizen based on experience, training, and knowledge. And so you need to be mindful of the mindset of people that have different life experiences. Not everybody is pacifist. Not everybody is naive or gullible. There's 3 types of people we have in this community in rural country Tennessee. There's those that have the vertical signs. They're about 4 feet high, and you can see them way from the street, way up on the porch, and it says, "Welcome." Welcome. They're very welcoming. It's almost like I can go on their property. I don't know, maybe even open their door and walk in because it says welcome. A criminal can use that as a defense, I guess. But they're very welcoming. And then you have the ones that are in the center. You don't know where they stand. They're indifferent. And I guess that's where I was. Nobody knew where I stood. Now remember, never complain about a problem unless you can offer a solution to the problem. Because at the end of my rambling on, I'm going to show you a 2-minute music video that is one of the solutions to this problem. But one of the things that's not mentioned in that video that you're about to watch, hopefully, is signage. Now I have a sign, no trespassing. Now I have a sign that says, if you can read this, you're within range with a pair of crosshairs. And then you have, I guess you can call it the extreme. The citizen that's to the extreme. Now I guess that's where I am now, because I got a 5x8 Gadsden flag flying on the telephone pole. The FBI says I'm a domestic terrorist because of that flag. And by the way, that's a flag endorsed by the United States Continental Congress, and it actually was flown by the United States Navy. So that's not just an extremist flag, as they say. That's actually a flag of the history of the great state of the United States of America. Now the extreme is, I was driving down the road one day, and one city over, entering my city on my little Razor ATV. And it was in the back of the woods, way in the back of the woods. And I saw this house out there. Their gate was right on the street. I never stepped foot, or nor did I ever drive on his property. It was always on the public dirt road. And he had all kinds of signage, video cameras, a little light flashing, big posters, give me liberty or give me death, Second Amendment, a big picture of a assault rifle, AR-15 style rifle. And I thought, wow, I'm admiring this guy's signage because I actually agree with everything that it says. A car comes driving down real fast through his dirt driveway, stops at the gate. They come out to meet me. One has a firearm behind his back, and he's holding it behind him. 2 pit bulls jump out of their car. One is jumping on the door. I've got a Razor that's got only a half door that's wide open. I says, "Is that pit bull bite?" And he says, "F yeah, F-U-C-K, yeah, it bites." I said, "Hey guys, I actually am admiring your signage. I'm not trespassing. I'm not parked on your property. I just was reading your signage." And he let me have a few extra choice words. That was not the welcoming man. That was not the one in the middle, which I used to be, which you don't know where he stands. That was the guy that made it very clear, I don't want anybody on my property or even looking at my property, which is kind of an extreme position. But I have to respect that man. I don't know what his background is. I don't know what experiences he's experienced, life experiences he's had. I don't know. But Pickwick employees, I implore you to change your policies. I'm going to put the litigious monkey on your back. Change your policies. In California, and by the way, we're not fugitives from justice. We're fugitives from injustice. We escaped California to get away from tyranny, draconianism, taxation without representation, big unrestricted government, over-regulating, over-restrictive government. Immorality run amok. We left California to get away with that and from tyranny. And what the electric company did here was tyranny. It was absolutely inappropriate. And even in a state as communist and socialist as in California, throughout the decades, you know what the utility companies did, whatever they be, water, trash, whether it be sewer, whether it be gas or electric or phone, they would either send us a letter in the mail saying that they need access to our property, to call them and make an appointment, or they would walk 30 feet from the sidewalk down our driveway and put a little leaflet on the door saying, "Hey, we were here and there was nobody home. Call us. We need to get access to your backyard or the side of your house," or whatever. They actually treated us with respect and dignity. And why in rural country Tennessee, Pickwick would be so invasive and so intrusive and so disrespectful, I do not know. So I'm asking you to please, one of the solutions to this problem before it escalates and gets worse, before one of your employees gets shot and killed and cause one of your customers to have to go through a court process. And believe me, I've been in court for shootings. I've actually had a pencil neck FBI agent ridicule something that I wrote about a biblical use of force, ridicule my Christian testimony that's online today in the presence of 24 grand jurors in the United States federal grand jury room. I've been through it. I've had one court verdict where I was a defendant, actually taken all the way to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And they actually affirmed the verdict in my favor. That's unusual because the Ninth Circuit's the most liberal, anti-Christ, anti-police court in the Union. So I've got a lot of experience in this area. And it's absolutely inappropriate that you would do what you did on our property.
Give thanks to the Lord for the works of His hand, for a kingdom that cannot be shaken. Give thanks to the Lord, for we all now can stand, and fear not of being forsaken. Give thanks to the Lord for His righteousness. Give thanks to the Lord for his love. Let us worship his name and his holiness. Give thanks to the Lord. Oh, give thanks to the Lord. Give thanks. Give thanks to the Father for sending his Son. Give thanks to the Son for the Spirit. Now lift up your voices to God, three in one, and shout so the whole world can hear it. Give thanks to the Lord for his righteousness. Give thanks to the Lord for his love. Let us worship his name and his holiness. Give thanks to the Lord. Oh, give thanks to the Lord. Give thanks to the Lord for his righteousness. Give thanks to the Lord for his love. Let us worship his name and his holiness. Give thanks to the Lord. Oh, give thanks to the Lord. Give thanks. Give thanks.
So you make a two-man job, a one-man job. Whoa, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, no. Oh my goodness. I can't cry, I can't complain, it's just my fault.